You have to know where the market's going to go. That's the first rule of Fight Club here. You have to know, where is it going? You have to know that. If you don't know that, everything else afterwards, you're lost. If you don't know where you are going, where the market's being led to, it's an obvious level. It's in your chart. And that's what I'm sharing my experience with. I'm pointing to those things. I'm hoping that you're aligning yourself with, okay, I'm going to submit this studying price delivery in the basis of it's going there, and filter out all the things that would be opposing that as an idea in terms of trades, accepting the fact that there will be fluctuations that you didn't participate in. That's okay.
So do you remember the day when you entered a trade and as soon as you entered the trade, price stopped you out and went in the completely opposite direction? And did you ever ask yourself why that happened that day? And yes, you are right. That was because you didn't know about the direction of that particular day. And that's what happens if you don't know where the market's going to go. So I've been trading with ICT concept more than 5 years right now. And the first 2 years I wasted because of that one thing. Because at that time I didn't know about the market bias, I would say, or maybe some people call it daily bias. The thing I call it whenever I'm taking a trade, but I like to call it in a different way. I see it is like if I'm taking a trade, I gotta know where the market's gonna go. And if I don't know where the market is gonna go from that specific point, I'm not taking the trade. But back then, when I used to trade without knowing that thing, I used to take setups based off of an order block, a bullish or bearish order block. Then I used to take setups based off of a fair value gap, a breaker block, a mitigation block, whatever you can name it. I used to use all those things, but I wasn't profitable or consistent at that time because no matter whatever I was using at that time, I couldn't be consistent with my strategy or with my trades. I was taking a trade and probably that hit my profit target today. The next day I'm applying the same strategy, but that trade didn't pan out, and I didn't even know what was the cause of it at that time. But it cost me so more than 2 years because of that one thing, and I was switching strategies over strategies because of that. Some days I was trading with 2022 mentorship. Some days I was trading with probably OTE series. Some days I was trading with the breaker block. Some days I was trading with liquidity sweep. But none of it worked for me until I figured this thing out. And that is, you gotta know where the market is gonna go. And I can definitely tell you that if you know where the market is gonna go before taking a trade, you will be profitable and you will be consistent with one setup, with one strategy. You don't have to switch multiple strategy. And you see all these traders doing that same bullshit over and over again. Whenever new things comes out, they gather up, goes there, learn it, apply that on their charts. Probably the first day they take a good setup and they get a win. The next day when they apply that and they get a loss, they say, "Fuck it, man! It doesn't work. I should look for probably another setup or another strategy. I think this strategy sucks. I gotta figure out another strategy that works perfectly." And they didn't even ask themselves that why the fuck they trade or the price stopped me out today, and why did price didn't stop me yesterday when I got a winning trade with that same kind of strategy or same kind of setups. And because of that one thing, most of the time you miss high probability setups, and most of the time you take low probability setups. All right. And that fogs up your brain quite, I would say, drastically. So if you can know where the markets is heading before taking a setup, you can easily get in a trade probably after a break of structure, or maybe after a support or resistance got broken to the upside or downside, and having a huge stop loss but targeting towards the direction the market's going to go, you can easily get a winning trade out of that. You don't have to have a tighter stop. If having tighter stop is your strategy, you have to apply that on the charts. But before every all of that thing, you gotta know where the market is gonna go. And you see, ICT talks about, I would say, all the time in his Twitter spaces. And if you're not focusing on that thing even now, you won't be profitable. It hurts, but I gotta say, bro, if you, I know it doesn't sounds nice to hear negative words, but you gotta apply the work. I'm not the one who's saying that. I even ICT is telling you to, the first thing you gotta know, as soon as you open the charts, you gotta know where price is gonna go today. If you don't know where price is gonna go today, how you supposed to take a setup? How you supposed to trust that bullish order block? How you supposed to trust that bearish order block? How you supposed to trust that bearish fair value gap or bullish fair value gap when you're taking a setup from those PD areas? And how do you suppose to expect a reversal after a liquidity sweep? So you gotta know the bias. You gotta know where the market is gonna go. And most people don't even put time on this because it's a hard thing to do. They want is just open the chart, see a bullish breaker or a bullish order block, drew some lines, and whenever price touches that PD area or fair value gap, I'm gonna take a long or a sell, and I'll be done. And it doesn't work like that. You gotta know where the market's gonna go, and you gotta put in the work. You have to sit in front of the chart, do your analysis for at least 30 minutes before you even consider taking a trade. And you have to see price doing certain things before going to that direction where you want price to go. You cannot trade based off of your expectations for the market to do certain things. You cannot anticipate price to do certain things when the market is going to go to the opposite direction. That's not trading, that is just reacting. All right, so before you even consider taking a trade, what do you got to know? You got to know where the market is going to go, then apply all the things that you know. And if you do, if you're not going to put in work for that, or even if now you struggle to know about the market bias, or when some days you're not sure about the trend or the direction of the market, you have to work on that. And those days you need to be out of you need to stay out of the market. You need to keep your hands off, not pressing a button, just watching price to do certain things. Now, how do you develop that mindset? How do you start practicing the market direction or anticipating market to do certain things and being aligned with the market direction? How can you develop that mindset? First thing you gotta do your analysis from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. So for me, I usually start with weekly time frame because I'm a more like a intraday trader, and sometimes I do scalp, but most of the time I'm like an intraday trader. So what I do, I start from the weekly time frame. I want to figure out what that week is gonna be like. If I don't know what that week is gonna be like, and then I'm not gonna trade that week. Or then I go to a lower time frame, then maybe the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, I drew all my PDRS where I expect price to maybe reject from or maybe show reaction. Then on the daily time frame, I drew all the PDRS like order blocks, fair value gaps, where I want price to reach up before selling off, or maybe where I want price to show reaction of. And then I go to the hourly time frame, or maybe if we're trading within a range, I want to see is price within a is priced in a discount zone or in a premium zone. If it's in discount, I'm probably gonna look for some PDRs and then buy into the premium. All right. Then if it reaches up to the premium zone, then I'm gonna sell to the discount zone and probably look for some lows into the discount zone. And now this might screw you up. All right, I get it, but I'm just, if you don't get it, just listen it maybe a bit slower. All right. So do your analysis from weekly time frame to daily time frame, then hourly, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, then 1 minute. If you're a swing trader, you can use monthly time frame, weekly time frame, whatever it is, but I'm going to explain the intraday and the scalper, right? So scalper, you can analyze on the 4 hour, 1 hour, then 5 minute, then 1 minute. That's it. Maybe you can trade 15 seconds, whatever it is. But you gotta know, is it in premium or discount? And you gotta know where is it coming from. Did it sweep a buy side liquidity, or did it sweep a sell side liquidity, or it's just consolidating? You gotta know all these factors. If you know all these factors, so you can look for your, I mean, you can expect to see certain things. Say for instance, price took out a buy side liquidity. Now you expect price to come back into that range, maybe below the 50% of that range. So what do you expect after taking out that buy side? Maybe on the you see that on the 4 hour time frame. Then you will, so for on the 4 hour time frame, you see that buy side. Now you expect price to bake a structure on the lower time frame, maybe on the hourly time frame, and you draw the 50% of that 4 hour price range, and you target something below the 50% in discount. So after the market structure bake on the lower time frame, you target some lows below the 50%, and you get into that direction. If you're not sure about that, or being afraid about like taking that trade, let it run. Let it show you that it is going to go there. Now when you're sure about it, wait for second stage distribution. After the second stage distribution, wait for third distribution. That is the most easiest setup, and most like safest entry setup if you want to get into a trade. Probably those are for like scalpers, I would say. Intraday intraday traders can also use that, but that's how I usually see it. All right. Now the stages that I explained, you can watch them on ICT's video. But if you want me to make another video about that, I can do it. Also, if you want me to make a video on market maker sell model, tell me in the comment. I'll make it. But our main goal is here to understand why market stops us in certain condition, but we don't know why the fuck that happened to us, because we don't know the direction. And that's what something you got to work on. So do your analysis from weekly, daily, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 hour, then 15 minute, well, 5 minute, and 1 minute after that. uh, so do your analysis on all this time frame, and I pretty much uh, shared how you can anticipate price to do certain things. So you got to know, is it in premium or is it in discount? Where is it coming from? Did it sweep some buy side, or did it sweep a sell side liquidity, or is it in a consolidation phase? You got to know all these factors. And so once you know where it's going to go, you can easily take a setup. Maybe you love a 1:1. You or maybe you're gonna trade the 50-minute time frame. So on the 50-minute time frame, you can still have a huge stop loss and can leave the trade to run to the direction where the market is gonna go. Where the market is gonna go at that particular day. You don't have to worry about your stop loss if you're right about where market is gonna go. And this doesn't build up within a day or within a week. This builds up over time, so you got to work on that. You got to see the charts for enough time, because once you see it for enough time, it's going to be more like a pattern for you, not like a not like a um, retail patterns. I'm not talking about those bullshit. It's going to be like something that whenever you see it, your brain is going to tell you that you saw it before, and it's going to tell you to take certain actions based off of that muscle memory. All right, I'm talking about, yeah, now I get that word. So muscle memory will kick in once you do this for enough time. So yeah, it is a mandatory thing to know. And if you're still not working on this thing, I would highly suggest you to do this, bro, because it took 2 years from me, to be honest. I'm not lying with y'all. That is telling you the truth. If you're still wasting your time just on strategies, on setups, you will waste a lot of time because of that. Start your day or journal, or before taking a trade, every session, or maybe whatever session you prefer, try to figure out what's the market going to do today, or what direction the market's going to go. And you don't need to take a trade, you just need to observe that, were you right about the direction, or were you wrong about the direction? If you were right, why you were right about the direction? If you're wrong, why you were wrong about the direction? If you ask yourself this question and put them down on your journals, you'll improve a lot. And I'm not gonna make this video any longer, bro. I'm gonna end this with that one line, bro. So yeah, I have one more thing to tell you. Just to remember, if you don't know where the market's gonna go, you have no business to take a trade that day. That's it. I'm gonna end the video with that line, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, be safe. Take care of your health and your mental health, and bye bye.